Hello and welcome back to Team Fortress 2 with Bobson playing a bit of Borneo today because I have a scout contract, also a soldier contract, but I'm going to get the scout contract done first. And since the advanced mission is to get the capture points and stuff, and the cart right here is actually the objective, so yeah, it shouldn't be too bad getting that advanced portion for the bonus points. So, what should I be talking about there today? I guess I should start off with what I do every week and talk about what's going on with my channel, what will be coming up on my channel. So, yeah, Fallout New Vegas, same as it ever was. A few episodes came out last week, a few more will be coming out this coming week. I think I'm up to episode 65, 66-ish. Going pretty well. Still plenty of content to go. I'm pretty much halfway through, I think. Yeah, I think I'm halfway through. But yeah, there's still plenty more to come, plenty more to see, plenty more to do. So that'll be staying on my channel for a while now. Let's see, Terraria. Last week in Terraria, I finished up in the desert, decided it was too much to actually do anything in the desert, and went back home just in time for a blood moon to spawn. So if you missed that episode, go see me dealing with my very first expert world blood moon. I'd never encountered one before, so yeah, go check that out if you missed it. As for what's coming up next week on Terraria, I think I'll be going back down into that cave I have to the right of my base, because I do have a pre-dug shaft I dug on my main character just to give me easy access to the lower areas, because I don't think you guys wanted to sit there watching me dig a elevator all the way down. That's why I already built one off camera. So yeah, I'll probably go down in there, explore the icy area, because there is an underground ice biome right next to my house, so that could be something interesting to check out, and I might be doing that next week. I don't know, I haven't gotten it recorded yet. Let's see, what else? How to Survive. How to Survive is still going strong. I finally got through all of the horrible audio episodes so far. I got the music turned down, everything's down. So from here on out, my voice should be fairly clear, and there should be no loud music drowning me out. Hopefully, there should be no more loud music drowning me out, except for the random ambient music that just pops up whenever an enemy's nearby. But yeah, still having a lot of fun, still exploring the islands, and getting myself killed repeatedly. Last week I had horrible trouble with that. Just trying to clear out one of the safe houses, simply because I was low on health, I was dying tired, and yeah, if you missed those episodes, go check those out. They should be the ones that came out last week, I think. If not, then they should be the ones coming out tomorrow. I'm not sure. Go check that out, and I don't remember. I'm sorry, I don't. But yeah, from here on out, it should be a bit better. So, and I don't know how. I think about 50%. I think that's what it showed, that I'm 50% through the main game. So not a lot left. I mean, not like 50 more episodes left, but still around maybe 10 to 15 episodes more worth of content that I'm going to be showing. So yeah, it's a good game, fun game. If you have not checked it out and you want to check it out, it is still on Steam. And if you have the original version of How to Survive, I think there is still that discount, so go check that out. Now, as far as the forest goes, quite frankly, I am getting a bit bored with the forest, because it's basically the same thing every week. Me logging in and basically exploring the same caves and running around the island trying to find something new to do, but there's nothing really all that new. So I think, as starting this coming week, I might actually take a break from the forest and replace it with something else. I'm not really sure. It all depends on what this coming update adds. If it adds something good, I might put an episode up on Thursday. If there's something really good and new to check out, because I think it's either this week or next week that there's supposed to be an update to the forest. So if there is something new, something significant, I might actually make another episode and put it up this coming week. If not, if it's just more bug fixes, I might just take a break for now and come back to it at some future time, whenever there is a bunch of new updates and new stuff to check out. But for now, I think I might be taking a break from it because, yeah, it's a good, don't get me wrong, it's a good game, it's a fun game, but there's just not a lot to it right now. And yeah, I think I'm just repeating myself over and over again with these episodes. So maybe in the future, maybe not, I'm not really sure. So let's see, what else do I want to talk about? That was How to Survive, The Forest, Terraria, and that. So yeah, that's basically it for what's going on and coming up on my channel. So what else do I want to talk about this week? I'm not really sure. Well, I have been watching a lot of reruns of Rick and Morty, which is a cartoon on Adult Swim, on Cartoon Network. I've rewatched all the old episodes. I kind of missed it when the episodes were originally airing. So yeah, I kind of missed out on it when it was originally airing. So I've been catching up on all the older episodes as well as the newer episodes that's been coming out over the past few weeks, and I don't really know what to say about it. It's such a good show, and it is a good show. It's a fun show. It's a mature audience cartoon, which is evidenced by the fact that it's on Adult Swim. And yeah, it's confusing at times and brilliantly funny, because a lot of the action, a lot of the story, I don't really know about the story, but the lines that the characters say are kind of ad-libbed. They just come up with it on the fly, and that's just what's freaking hilarious about it. With the characters Rick and Morty, it's just fun, hilarious, and I don't know, it's confusing at times. I just don't know what to say about it. I love this show. It's one of my I think it's my favorite new show on Adult Swim, on Cartoon Network in general. And yeah, the storyline in it is interesting and different from anything else that's on right now. And I just find it entertaining, because there's so many details that they put into the show that could be just one-of jokes, or they could just come back to it at any point. Like some of the newer episodes that have been coming out. The Gearhead, like last episode, the one where Morty's saving this fart cloud from being assassinated, and the Gearhead guy that shows up in the episode, it was just a one-of joke from last season, and they just brought him back for one portion, and I think they brought him back just make the joke of the gears in his mouth. And if you haven't seen that episode to know what I'm talking about, go watch it, because it's freaking hilarious. And yeah, I just love all those adult-oriented, mature cartoons that you see nowadays. I love that fact that they exist now on U.S. television, because when I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of that kind of cartoons. In fact, there were very few of those cartoons. The closest thing would probably be The Simpsons, way back in the 80s and early 90s, because that was basically it for mature, focused cartoons. And even then, it wasn't all that mature. It was just a family sitcom with minor adult themes to it. And in fact, it wasn't until later on in the 90s when South Park came out that there were really adult focused, adult-themed cartoons that were aimed at mature audiences, aimed at late teens and adult audiences. Because up to that point, cartoons were basically stuff like Simpsons, stuff like what you would see on Saturday mornings, and there weren't that many. cartoons, like primetime cartoons, that had adult themes. And yeah, that's kind of sad when you think about it, especially when you look at the lineup of like Adult Swim today, and you see all these wonderful, hilarious cartoons that they can get away with stuff that you could not do in a live action show, that you could only do in an animated show. And either for logistical reasons, because it would just be too difficult to do, or for budgetary reasons, because the special effects to get them to do it would be just way overboard. And yeah, I don't know why they never really had that kind of stuff way back when. I mean, the main problem was probably that networks and the general public in the United States mainly viewed animation as a children's medium. It was all for kids. It was all just children's entertainment. So they never really bothered with any adult-focused cartoons, because everyone had the opinion that cartoons were just for kids, and any cartoon was just for kids. I mean, even back in they started having a somewhat mature focus back in the 70s, I guess, if you want to count the Flintstones. Because the Flintstones was a primetime family sitcom type thing, but it was basically exactly the same as any other family sitcom you would have seen at the time. And in fact, it had all the same cliche storylines, all the same cliche plot lines you would see in any other sitcom from the time, but it was all done in an animated format. But yeah, it was still family friendly, it was still kid friendly, and this whole thing, and that just doesn't have the same impact as something like Family Guy does today. Because Family Guy is most definitely not a family-friendly cartoon, and to some extent, neither was American Dad or Cleveland Show, which I'm sure a number of people would love to simply forget even exists, because Cleveland Show is complete crap. But yeah, all these newer cartoons that came out over the past 10, 15 years, on the heels of South Park's success with a mature audience-focused content, was just wonderful. I mean, Adult Swim itself would probably not exist if it wasn't for South Park and the success of South Park, and them showing that adult cartoons, mature audience cartoons, could actually succeed and be profitable and be entertaining, and adults would actually want to watch this kind of stuff. But yeah, so many good shows have come out of Adult Swim, despite the crap that has come out of Adult Swim as well. I mean, there's been a ton of crap that came out of Adult Swim, and a bunch of controversy out of the entire Adult Swim thing. I mean, like years ago when that whole Boston incident happened, it caused the head of Cartoon Network to be forced to resign because of the crap that happened. And if those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, years ago there was a advertising campaign that someone at Adult Swim, the head of Adult Swim, thought would be a good idea. They hired this advertising company who had a brilliant idea that they would create these little cardboard cutout things with little light pegs in them, with a character from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And they would dot them around Boston as a publicity stunt. The problem is, they made them very cheaply, and yeah, you could see it was a character, Enignot, I think it was, the Moon Man guy from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and yeah, you could see what it was, and he was just giving a middle finger, which is standard for him. But they made the things so cheaply that you could see the batteries, you could see the wiring, and this was post 9/11 mass hysteria about terrorism and stuff like that. So yeah, having these all over the place, wrapped up with black tape and duct tape, just sitting there, popping up out of nowhere, it caused a massive panic a citywide panic because they were all over the place. They were dotted all over the place, and massive police response, and it was a huge incident. And I don't know who the hell came up with this idea, who the hell thought it was a good idea, but it caused massive amounts of trouble for Cartoon Network. And the head of Cartoon Network actually resigned, was forced to resign over this. So, yeah. But that's not even relevant for what I was talking about, is it? No, I was talking about cartoons. But yeah, overall, I think Adult Swim has been a positive influence on adult cartoons, adult-oriented, mature cartoons. Newer stuff like Rick and Morty, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, when it originally came out. I mean, it's not quite as good as it once was, but it was great at the time. With stuff like Harvey Birdman, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, which wasn't technically purely Adult Swim. It existed before Adult Swim, but they adopted it once it was up and running. But yeah, there's so many good cartoons that are just out there today, thanks to stuff like South Park, paving the way for adult cartoons and mature audience cartoons. South Park wasn't. I don't really know if South Park was the first adult-oriented cartoon, because there was a couple that came out and started just before it, like Duckman, but I don't know if it ever got the TVMA, mature audiences only, rating on it for any of the episodes on Duckman. I think they kind of reined in the content to keep it from getting one of those. So I'm not really sure. But that came out, I think, 95-ish, 96. So it might have been technically the first one. I know there was another cartoon that was pure TVMA that came on, I think, Showtime or Cinemax or one of those paid movie channels for cable. But yeah, but it only lasted like 6 episodes before the creator pulled the plug because the studio wanted to make too many changes and he didn't want to do it. I think it was Ralph Bakshi, the same creator behind a bunch of the late 70s, early 80s TV cinematic movies that were animated and adult-oriented movies that came out during that period. But yeah, South Park really was the first one, and it's one of the first purely adult-oriented cartoons that came out, and it's one of my favorites even to this day. I mean, it's been at least 18 years and as many seasons, but South Park is still good. It's still consistently fun to watch, and I still like watching it, and it's one of the reasons why I am still looking forward to the new game that's going to be coming out sometime later this year. Or was it later next year? I'm not really sure. But yeah, it's going to be coming out. Brand new game. I am looking forward to playing the sequel to Stick of Truth. So, yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else I need to talk about? Or have I been going on too long? Probably. I think so. Yeah, around 18, 19 minutes so far. So anyway, thanks for watching. This has been Bobson. This has been Team Fortress 2. And this has been me rambling on about cartoons and other stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, I will see you later. Bye.